Hi, and thank you for joining me for this video. So, should you buy this tent? Well, in this video, I'm going to tell you and I'm going to show you everything you need to know so you can decide whether this tent is for you. Now, at the time of filming this video, this tent here in the UK, direct from Decathlon, sells for £299.99. I have to say though, this tent is currently in the sale. Its usual price is around £350. So if after this video you like the look of this tent, I'd get yourself into Decathlon so you can save yourself a little bit of money on this tent. Now, everything you get with this tent comes in a really well-made storage bag. So let's start by having a look at the storage bag. Now, this storage bag is really well made and it comes with two nice big carry handles. Now, the reason it's been designed like this is so two people can carry this storage bag for the simple reason that the packed weight comes in at around 15 kilograms. Now, if you're strong enough, you can carry this bag on your own, but it's going to make it a lot easier if two people carry it. Now, the size of the bag isn't too bad. The length comes in at around 75 centimeters and the width comes in at around 35 centimeters. Now, you do have a couple of really nice compression straps so you can compress this storage bag right down with everything in, so it's not too big. Right, let's have a good look on how to pitch this tent. So as this is an air tent, you're going to need an air pump. Now, you're welcome to use your own air pump, but what I suggest is you buy one of these air pumps from Decathlon. Currently, they sell for around £25. They're really well made. They also have a gauge right on top of the handle so you can see what pressure you're at when you're inflating this tent, which is really important. This air pump also has a couple of little different connections on the bottom, so you can use this air pump for other things. Now, when it comes to pitching this tent, I'm going to show you the way I do it, but you might prefer your way, and that's absolutely fine. Whatever works for you. So when it comes to pitching this tent, the first thing you want to do, even before you lay your tent out, you want to check the ground to make sure there's nothing sharp that's going to pierce the bottom of your tent. You can then, if you want, put a footprint underneath just to protect the tent. Now, you don't get a footprint with this tent, so the best thing to do is to buy a little bit of tarpaulin or something like that. When you've then done that and you've laid your tent completely out, you will then notice in your pack you get two pegs. You get quite a heavy duty peg like this one, and then you get a slightly lighter peg like this. What you want to do is take these more durable looking pegs and you want to put one in each corner of the tent. So in the corners of the tent you will see these brown straps, and this is where your big pegs are going to go, and they simply just thread through into the corners. However, before you completely put them in the ground, make sure that this strap is nice and loose, and we keep all the straps in the corner nice and loose, so if we have to adjust the tent we can, and then at the end when we finish pitching we can come back and just tighten these corners up. It's now time to inflate the tent, which is the fun bit. Now, you can get someone to help you with this and it will make life a little bit easier, but it's more than doable on your own. Now, you have three arches on this tent. You have a small arch at the back, a medium size in the middle, and a larger one at the front. We're going to start at the back. Now, when it comes to inflating each of these arches, you will notice that both of the valves are completely undone. So what you have to do on each of the arches is just go along and connect the very first valve to the arch. When you've done that, you are ready to start inflating the arches. Now, while you're inflating this arch, if you should stop inflating, don't worry, because this is a one-way valve, so no air will start escaping back out. So the next thing to do is to set up your rain and sunfly. Now in your storage bag you will have a fiberglass pole. Just slot it all together and then it just slides straight through this pole sleeve, straight through to the other end, and then this rain and sunfly will just pop out. So the ends of the pole do just slot into these little slots on the end. So let's do that now. You then will have a silver bar which you put together. You then open up your tent, toggle your door back, come into the living space of your tent, and then you will see on the roof here at each end there is a little slot. When you've put this pole together, you just slot it in each side, and that will keep the roof of your tent nice and tight. Now this is an extendable pole, so when you've slotted both sides in, if you need to extend it further out, you just pull it out and then simply clamp this clamp down, and that'll keep things nice and tight. So the next thing to do is to go round and put in some more ground pegs. All that's left to do now is to peg out your guy lines, which are all connected to your tent, so that makes life nice and easy. And then finally, just go round to all the corners of the tent and tighten up those straps, which I showed you right at the beginning. Well, that's the tent all set up. Let's have a good look around it. So, first impressions of this tent, I think it's a great looking tent. Now it just comes in this one colour, which is classed as a ultra white and a cappuccino beige. Now if you go online, you might see the same tent in a different colour, but that is the older model. Now this is classed as the fresh and black. The outer which is that ultra white, is the fresh bit. It's going to help reflect the sun, which in turn is going to help keep you cool inside. It's also going to protect you from UV rays. This outer fabric also has a UPF 50 on it. So as I say, that's great to help protect you from the sun. Now, when it comes to the fabric of this tent, it's made out of polyester. It also has a hydrostatic head rating of 2,000 millimeters. So it's more than waterproof. And I have to say, when it comes to waterproofing on Decathlon tents, they are really, really good. I haven't had any issues with waterproofing with this tent or any tent that I've owned from Decathlon. And if you go online, the reviews speak for themselves. Now, this has also been tested in wind. With regards to wind resistance, this tent can withstand up to 37 miles per hour, which is fantastic because, to be honest, most people are not going to be camping in more than, say, 20 to 25 mile per hour winds. So the fact is that this can withstand up to 37 miles per hour. Perfect. Now, the tent itself has a really nice size entrance. With this entrance, over the zip, it does have a storm flap to protect it from the rain, and it also has a little bit of Velcro on the storm flap so it doesn't flap about if the wind gets up. Now, with this door, you can just fully unzip it, roll it back and toggle it up, which we're going to do in a minute. Now, on the center of the door, you do have this mesh panel with another panel behind it which can be dropped down, but we will have a look at that when we're inside the tent. Now, I just wanted to show you on the inside of the door, because I did show you that mesh panel on the outside and I said you had another panel on the inside. Well, with this internal panel, you can either zip it all the way down and the other side, and then you can roll it down and toggle it up at the bottom, or you can unzip it all the way around, roll it up and toggle it to the side. I'm just going to undo this down to the bottom and the other side. And as I say, you can roll this up and toggle it at the bottom. I'm not going to do that now. But then when that inner panel is unzipped and out the way, you've got this nice mesh panel, which is going to give you max airflow, which is going to help keep you nice and cool, but also it's going to help keep any of the bugs out. Another thing to mention quickly with this inner panel. Now, when it's raining outside, obviously, if this panel's down fully, if the rain comes in at a certain angle, even though you've got that little rain and sun fly at the top, rain could potentially still come into your tent. Now, if you still want a little bit of airflow, but you don't want to fully undo this and say potentially get wet, you could just undo the top part of this inner panel just to give you a little bit of airflow and potentially help stop any rain from coming directly into your tent. Inside the tent at the front, you also get this mesh panel on the ceiling, so that's going to give you a nice bit of airflow. And then on the one side, you get another mesh window. You just unzip it both sides. It has a little bit of Velcro on the top, which you can pull down. Now, this bottom bit of fabric doesn't roll up or toggle at the bottom, but what you can do is you can just roll it over. I'm just doing this very quickly just to give you an idea, and you can actually just poke it down the back of the window. And as I say, that gives you a nice big mesh panel to give you a nice bit of airflow again, and also help keep any insects out. Now, on the other side of the tent, you do get another window. This time, to open the window, instead of a zip each side, you do have these clips on each corner. Let's just undo these quickly for you. And then once again, you have some Velcro in the middle. And like the other window, you can just take this little bit of fabric, roll it up and just push it down the back of the window. And instead of a mesh panel this side, you have a PVC panel. So that's basically it on the inside of the tent. But there are a few more things to mention. Firstly, you do get a couple of little storage pockets, which are always handy to have. And then right at the back here, at the top on the ceiling, you do get that all-important little hook, so you can hook your camping lamp. Now, when it comes to the size of this living space, I have to say it's a real decent size. Now, when it comes to the floor of the living space, it does have a hydrostatic head rating of 2,400. So you're not going to get any water coming through the floor. As far as the space goes in here, the width from the entrance to the tent right up to just before you get into where you're going to be sleeping for the night comes in at around 230 centimeters. And then the width at the widest point from one end to the other here, where I'm sitting, comes in at around 280 centimeters. And then height wise from the floor all the way up to the ceiling is about 190 centimeters, which is perfect because I'm 6'2" and I can stand up in here. So if you're less than 6'2", you've got plenty of room. Okay, let's talk about the sleeping area of this tent. And this is where this black fabric comes in. Now, this black fabric is designed for two reasons. One, it's designed to help you keep cool while you're sleeping inside, but also it's designed to knock out about 99% of the light. So, you know, you get a much better sleep, especially, you know, if you're camping with your kids and you're in the summertime and it gets light really early. As soon as light comes in a tent, those kids are up. But with this blackout fabric, it's definitely going to help your kids sleep longer. And hey, for yourself as well, you'll end up getting a much better night's sleep. Now, the fabric itself is made out of polyester. Once again, like the outer door, it does have this mesh panel up here with another panel on the back that can be unzipped. So that will then create a really nice mesh window to let in a nice bit of airflow in the sleeping area, but at the same time keeping those insects out. Now, this door will just be fully unzipped, rolled and toggled back. So let's do that and let's have a good look inside where you'll be sleeping in this tent. Okay, let me show you on the inside of the sleeping compartment. So as you can see, it's that black fabric all the way around, and when the door is fully zipped up, it is pretty dark. I will show you how dark in a minute. But for the moment, on the far side, there are a couple of storage pockets. There are another couple of storage pockets on the opposite side. Right at the top towards the ceiling, there's another big mesh panel to let in some more air. You've got a lamp hook that side, you've got another lamp hook that side, and then down the bottom you do have another little window, which I'll show you how that works in a minute. Now, as I said, right at the back of the tent here, you do have another little window, and it's got a couple of features on it. First of all, you can just simply undo the inner panel. This panel drops down, it can be rolled up and toggled up, and then you're going to be left with a nice little mesh panel, so it's going to let in a nice bit of airflow again, and once again obviously keep any insects out. Or you can put that up, or if you really want, you can open the whole window up, so the inner bit of fabric and the mesh panel drop down. They both again can be toggled up, and you can actually then see right outside the tent. Now, if you look outside the tent, you'll be able to unhook the back of the tent from a peg, and then you've got a little cord here, which actually, if you pull up, and then you can tie up, it lifts the back of the tent up. So you can get, you know, even more air coming in this tent if you really want. So that's a nice little feature. Right, let's talk about the size of the sleeping area of this tent. When it comes to internal measurements of the sleeping area, first of all, the length. So from the entrance to the sleeping area right to the back here comes in at around 230 centimeters. And then the width from one end to the other comes in at 280 centimeters. Height-wise, from the floor right up to the ceiling, comes in at 160 centimeters. Right, I'm going to get the camera set up right inside the sleeping area. I'm then going to close everything up so you can see just how dark it gets in here. Okay, I'm going to zip everything up so you can see just how dark it gets in here. Now, it's about 2 o'clock and it's a really hot day. The sun is really bright, so this will give you a good idea. There you go. That's everything fully zipped up. You might still be able to just see me, but don't forget it is a really, really bright day. And, you know, of an evening, it's going to be pitch black in here. I also haven't zipped up the front door to the tent or the actual windows, but already just by doing that, you can see how much darker it gets in here. Right, let's open this door up again, if we can find it. Oh, here we go. There you go, that's better. And there you go, a nice bit of light back in. Well, that gave you some idea of how dark it gets in the sleeping area of this tent. So there you go, that's the tent. I have to say I absolutely love this tent. Now, I've personally used this tent for about 2 years now, and I've had no issues with this tent. It's never leaked and it's never collapsed. Now, this tent has some great features. It's really easy to pitch, and when it comes to taking down this tent, it's just the reverse of what you did when you put it up. Now, I really like the fresh and black in this tent. It helps keep you cool, but also that blackout fabric really does help give you a better night's sleep, especially in the summer months when it gets bright nice and early. It makes a huge difference, and especially for the kids. If you're camping with the kids, they won't be waking up too early. The living space in this tent is a decent size. You can put a little table and a few chairs in there, no problem. The sleeping area is big enough. It's not huge, but it's big enough. You get plenty of pockets. You get your hooks for your lights. You get plenty of ventilation in this tent. And I have to say, in the time I've used it, I've had very little to no condensation in this tent. Also, with all the mesh, keeping those insects out, that makes a big difference. Now, the other thing I really like with this tent is that It does come with a 5-year warranty, so if you have any problems with this tent, you can simply take it back to Decathlon or phone them up and they'll help you out. Decathlon also do a spare and repair service, what I actually call it. And so if you need some more ground pegs or some more guy lines, you can just pop in store and pick up some. If this tent does need repairing, you can take it in and they will repair it for you. But all in all, this is the tent. For £300, I think this is fantastic value and I highly recommend it. Whether you're buying it for yourself and the family, or you're buying it just for yourself and your partner, honestly, it's well worth having a good look at this tent. And if you can, at the moment in the summer months, go into Decathlon. They have most of their tents all set up so you can get inside and have a good look around. But as I say, that's the tent. So many great features. Now, I just want to add that I did show you how to pitch this tent, but what I will do in the description, I will put a link to a video that Decathlon do. They show you how to pitch this tent, and then they also show you how to take it down and store it again. So I will put a link to those 2 videos down below. But as I say, that's the tent. Absolutely love this tent, but let me know what you think about this tent. But on that note, if you've enjoyed this video, please hit the like button. It really does help the channel. Also, if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. And lastly, don't forget to turn on the bell notification so you can be notified every time I upload a new video. But in saying that, thank you so much, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.